In recent years, the Securities and Exchange Commission has taken a stricter stance on cryptocurrency tokens. The SEC has banned several tokens, including OMG, Algo, TKN, NGC, and IHT, claiming that they are securities. In this video, we will discuss why the SEC bans tokens and whether these tokens are securities. The SEC determines whether a token is a security by applying the Howey test. The Howey test was established by the Supreme Court in 1946 and states that a security is an investment contract where the investor expects profits from the efforts of others. In other words, if investors are relying on the efforts of a third party to make a profit, then the investment is likely a security. Tokens that are sold through initial coin offerings are often considered securities because they meet the Howey test criteria. The tokens are typically sold to raise funds for a company or project, and investors expect to profit from the efforts of the company or project team. If the token is considered a security, then the company must comply with SEC regulations, including registering the token with the SEC and providing disclosure about the token and the company. Another reason why the SEC bans tokens is when they are used for fraudulent purposes. In recent years, there have been numerous cases of ICOs that turned out to be scams. The companies behind the ICOs would promise high returns and use false or misleading information to attract investors. Once the ICO was completed, the company would disappear, leaving investors with worthless tokens. The SEC takes a strong stance against fraudulent ICOs and has taken action against companies that have engaged in such activities. In 2018, the SEC charged the founders of Tech, a company that had raised $32 million through an ICO with fraud. The SEC alleged that the company had falsely claimed to have partnerships with Visa and MasterCard and had created fictional executives to promote the ICO. Cryptocurrency tokens are often unregulated and are not subject to the same investor protections as traditional securities. This lack of regulation means that investors may not have access to the information they need to make informed investment decisions, and there may be little recourse if something goes wrong. Tokens that are sold through ICOs are particularly risky because they are often sold to unsophisticated investors who may not understand the risks involved. In addition, ICOs are often not subject to the same disclosure requirements as traditional securities offerings, making it difficult for investors to evaluate the investment. The SEC bans tokens that violate securities laws. In the United States, securities laws are designed to protect investors from fraud and to ensure that companies provide accurate and complete information about their financial situation. If a token is sold as a security, but the company behind the token does not comply with security laws, then the token is subject to being banned by the SEC. For example, in 2019, the SEC charged Kick Interactive, the company behind the Kin token, with conducting an illegal securities offering. The SEC alleged that Kick had sold the Kin token as an unregistered security, violating federal securities laws. Kick disputed the charges, but the case is still ongoing. The SEC bans tokens when they are used for money laundering. Cryptocurrency tokens can be used to transfer large amounts of money across borders quickly and anonymously. While this can be beneficial for legitimate purposes, it can also be used for illegal activities such as money laundering. Money laundering is the process of making illegally obtained money appear to come from a legitimate source. Cryptocurrency tokens can be used to launder money by purchasing tokens with illegally obtained funds, transferring the tokens to another account, and then cashing out the tokens into clean money. The SEC takes a strong stance against money laundering and has taken action against companies that facilitate it. For example, in 2020, the SEC charged BitMEX, a cryptocurrency derivatives trading platform, and its founders with violating anti-money laundering regulations. The SEC alleged that BitMEX had failed to implement proper anti-money laundering procedures, allowing users to launder money through the platform. Cryptocurrency tokens can be used for illegal activities because they allow for anonymous and untraceable transactions. This anonymity can make it difficult for law enforcement to track down and prosecute those involved in illegal activities. In 2020, the SEC charged Abra, a company that had sold cryptocurrency-based contracts for difference, with violating securities laws. The SEC alleged that Abra had offered contracts that were effectively security-based swaps without complying with the registration and disclosure requirements of the federal securities laws. In addition, the SEC alleged that Abra had provided CFDs that referenced securities without registering them as securities. Are OMG-Algo, TKN, and GCNI-HT securities. The SEC has determined that OMG-Algo, TKN, and GCNI-HT are securities. These tokens were all sold through ICOs and were deemed to meet the criteria of the Howey test. The companies behind these tokens must comply with SEC regulations, including registering the token with the SEC and providing disclosure about the token and the company. And with that being said, it's time to end our video. Subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos like this. We'll see you with another interesting video.